Good afternoon. Today's practical is a performance of the peripheral smear. We have to perform the peripheral smear and staining of the peripheral smear. Competency of the today's practical is perform, identify and describe the peripheral pictures in the anemia. Next, prepare a peripheral smear and identify the hemolytic anemia from it. Learning objective is the introduction to the peripheral smear preparation, how to make a peripheral smear. Second is the staining of the peripheral smear and the microscopic briefing, how to report a peripheral smear. So this is the learning objective. First, what is peripheral smear? For the differential blood count, the smear is prepared by the drop of the blood followed by the staining with one of the Romanowski stain. Why we are making the peripheral smear? So it is helpful in the various cases. So first is helpful in suggesting the causes of the anemia or thrombocytopenia, identify and typing the various leukemia, and diagnostic of the various hemoparasitic infection. Second, to monitor the effect of the chemotherapy and radiotherapy on the bone marrow. And the last is to provide a direction for the further investigation that will help in arriving the correct diagnosis. Mainly we are doing the peripheral smear for the differential count plus this many causes. Now how to make a peripheral smear? So first, a drop of the blood 2 to 3 mm in diameter is placed in the center of the line about the 1 centimeter away from the edges of the glass slide. We can use ET anticoagulated blood, a drop of the blood from the syringe, or the blood drop from the skin puncture. So the drop of the blood is placed. Now a spreader slide is placed at the angle of the 30 to 40 degree in front of the drop and then draw back to touch the drop of the blood. Now the smear is made by the smooth forward movement of the spreader along the slide and wedge shaped smear is prepared. The smear should be rapidly dry by waving it into air and keeping it under the electric fan. Next, labeling of the slide is very important because we are receiving so many samples, so chances of the mixing the slide with another patient. So we have to label the slide, patient name or laboratory number or date is written. The smear is fixed immediately with absolute methyl alcohol for 2 to 3 minutes in a covered jar. The aim of the fixation is to prevent a washing of the smear from the slide. Ideally, Romanowski stain, we are fixing the smear in the Giemsa stain, but Leishman stain contains the methyl alcohol, so fixing is not needed. But in case where the moisture is there, so Leishman stain absorb the moisture, so fixation does not happen properly. So in some cases the fixation is required. This is about the manually we are preparing the slide. Next, in the mechanical spreader have been incorporated in the automatic slide staining machine or automatic blood smear counter. So the slide is automatically prepared and stained in advanced machineries. Next, features of the well-made wedge-shaped smear. It should cover a 2/3 or 3/4 of the entire glass area of the slide. It should be tongue-shaped with a smooth tail. It have a both thick and the thin area with a gradual transition. It does not contain the holes or line. In the films of the optimal thickness, there is some overlap of the RBC in much of the film, but the even distribution and separation of the red cell towards the thin tail. So first is the spreader. Spreader means which has a smooth edges. We have to prepare the spreader for the making the slide. The drop of the blood is placed about the 1 centimeter away from the edges. First we have to pull backward the spreader to touch the drop and then move smoothly it forward to make a tongue shape smear. So smear is made. In the first photograph showing smear covering the whole of the slide, which is not useful for any purpose. In the second slide we can see the holes, which also not useful. These holes are prepared due to the greasy slide. So before making the slide we have to clean the slide. Third is if the spreader is lifted before the completing the smear, the edge should not edge which is made is not tongue shaped. And last is a too short smear. So these all slides are unsatisfactory for the evaluation. Ideally smear should be wedge shaped. This is the ideal blur smear, covering the 2/3 of this slide, tongue shape, evenly distributed. Cells are seen at the pre-tail area. The same in this slide, the thick and the thin smear both are made on the same slide. We can make on the same slide or on the different slide. So for the examination of the slide, the pre-tail area is best for the examination, because head area there is overlapping of the RBC, and in the tail area there is a separation of the RBC, and the shape of the RBC is not ideal in the tail area. Now how to stain a peripheral smear. We have made the peripheral smear. Now we have to stain to see the cells. So basic principle of the Romanowski stain is that they contain the thiazines, which is a basic component like a polychromated methylene blue, and azure A and azure B and eosin. These all are acidic component. Thus by combination of basic and acidic dye, they stain both normal and abnormal cells most differently. Stain used are McGraw and Chibsa stain, Leishman stain, Wright stain and Field stain. These are the different type of the stain they are used. First, the staining of the Romanowski stain depend upon the two synthetic dye, methylene blue and the eosin. So methylene blue is a basic dye which has a affinity for the acidic component of the cell. Acidic components are the nucleic acid, ribonucleic acid, deoxyribonucleic acid and basophilic granules that imparts a purple violet color to the nuclear component and the dark blue color to the cytoplasm of the lymphocyte and a deep blue violet color to the basophilic granules. So methylene blue stain the nucleus of the cell and the granules of the cell, basophilic granules of the cell. Next is eosin, which is the acidic dye which has a affinity for the basic component like a hemoglobin. So RBC are stained red and the granules in the eosinophil also stained orange. Neutrophil granules are slightly basic and stained violet pink in color. Now Leishman stain is a polychromatic stain. The component of the stain is a first methanol which fixes the cell to the slide, so it not washed off during the staining and washing. Next is methylene blue which stains the RNA and DNA blue grey color. Eosin which stain the hemoglobin and eosin granules orange red color. The pH value for the phosphate buffer is very important. So two things are needed to stain the slide. First Leishman stain and the phosphate buffer. So procedure is thin smear are air dried and fixed with a methanol if the moisture is there, otherwise the fixing is not needed. Flood the smear with the stain it for the 1 to 5 minutes, add the equal amount of the buffer solution and mix the stain by blowing the fluid. Don't allow it to dry. Leaves a mixture on the slide 10 to 15 minutes. Wash it under running tap water and wipe the back of the slide. Stand the slide on the end and let it dry. So this is about the Leishman stain, how to stain the slide. It is very easy. We have to pour the slide for 1 to 5 minutes, then pour the buffer and allow it to set for the 10 to 15 minutes. Next, washing under the tap water and dry the smear. It is a ready to microscopic examination. So this is a ideal stain smear. The color of the smear becomes a light purple or pink after the staining. Now we have stained the slide, we have to see it under the microscope. So what we have to see under the microscope? There are various parameters we have all shown in the last practical. So it is examined for the red cell, white cell, platelet and any presence of the parasite. So first, red cell. In the red cell we have to see the morphology of the red cell. Whether any immature form of the red cell is present, any inclusion body is present or not, arrangement of the cell. This all we have to see in the red cell. Next, white cell. Total leukocyte count, differential leukocyte count, presence of any abnormal cell, immature cell. This all we have to see. For the platelet, adequacy and the abnormal form. This we have to see. And for the parasite, like malarial parasite, filarial parasite, trypanosomes can be seen, Leishmania donovani, LD body can be seen in the peripheral smear. So we have to look for the any presence of any parasite. So how to see the smear? Initially we have to screen the slide under low power, then high power, then oil immersion field. First, low power. The blood smear should be observed under the low power objective 10x to assess whether the film is properly spread and stained, to assess the cell distribution, to select the area for the examination of the blood cell. Low power is also helpful for the identification of the Rouleau's formation, agglutination of the red cell and for the detection of the microfilaria. Next, if we have selected the area for the examination, so shift to the high power. Objective lens 45x is suitable for the examination of the red cell morphology and differential count. And next, oil immersion, used for the detailed examination of the any abnormal cell and first see the parasite like a malarial parasite. So in this, oil immersion lens is used. So this is the normal peripheral smear. You can see the RBC are the normal in size, well stained, evenly stained with only 1/3 of the pillar. All the cells are normal: neutrophil, basophil, monocyte, lymphocyte, eosinophils, and you can see the platelet. So in the normal peripheral smear, RBC should be normocytic normochromic. White cell, the total and differential count should be within normal limits. Platelet should adequate and the parasite is absent. The range for the differential count is for the neutrophil 40 to 75%, lymphocyte 20 to 40%, monocyte 2 to 10%, eosinophil 1 to 6% and the basophil 0 to 6%. So this is about the normal peripheral smear. And after seeing all this, the conclusion of the peripheral smear we have to write. Now we will see one by one any derangement in the any parameter. So first, in RBC we have to see the abnormal size, whether microcyte present, macrocyte present, abnormal staining, whether hypochromic cell is present, abnormal shape of the cell. We have shown all the shape in the last practical. Any red cell inclusion like a Howell-Jolly body, basophilic stiffening, Cabot ring. Next, presence of any immature cell like a polychromatic cell, nucleated red cell, reticulocyte count. Then abnormal red cell arrangement like a clumping of the red cell, Rouleau formation of the red cell. So all these parameters we have to see in the microscope for the red cell. So in the first smear Normally the size of the RBC is equal to the size of the nucleus of the small lymphocyte. So in the A photograph, the size of the RBC is decreased. So it is a case of the microcyte. We have shown in the microcytic hypochromic anemia. Second picture is a RBC size increased more than 100 femtoliter, seen in the macrocytic anemia. So it is a macrocyte. Third is a sickle shaped cell. RBC become sickle shaped. Fourth is a spherocytes. Darkly stained red cell, smaller in size, without the central pallor, seen in the hereditary spherocytosis. E is a fragmented red cell or cystocytes, is seen in the microangiopathic hemolytic anemia. F is a target cell, seen in the thalassemia, iron deficiency anemia. G is a Burr cell, seen in the chronic renal failure. Next is a teardrop cell, seen in the myelofibrosis. Next is a bite cell and a blister cell, seen in the G6PD deficiency. So we have to see whether any abnormal form of the RBC is present or not. So this is about the size, staining and shape of the RBC. Now inclusion. What inclusion we can see? First is a basophilic stippling. We shown in a megaloblastic anemia. Lead poisoning, it is also seen. Howell-Jolly body, it is also seen in the megaloblastic anemia in case of the post-splenectomy. Second is a Pappenheimer body, it's also seen after the splenectomy. D is a Cabot ring, formation of the 8-shaped ring, is seen in the megaloblastic anemia. So these are the inclusions, remnant of the RNA present in the red cell. These all are inclusions. So we have to see an inclusion is present or not. Next is immature cell, polychromatic cells, nucleated red cell. These all are seen in case of the increased erythropoiesis, like any trauma, hemorrhage. This condition we have to see any immature cells present or not. Next is the abnormal red cell arrangement. There can be a rouleau formation and autoagglutination of the red cell. Rouleau formation, in which the coin shape arrangement of the RBC is seen on the slide, and in the autoagglutination the clump of the RBC is seen in the agglutination disorder seen in. This is about the RBC. We have to see all these things about the RBC. Next, what about the WBC? So we have to see for the total count and differential count. Total count grossly from the smear, approximately we can estimate the total count. We have to see the around 10 to 12 fields, and we have to see the how many WBCs are seen per high power field, and we have to take average for all this 10 field. If we are getting a average of the 2, so formula is a 2x plus 1. So 2 into 2 equal to 4 plus 1 means 5000. So the total count is a 5000. So according to this we can have an idea about the total count of the WBC. So we can judge whether the neutrophil total count increased or decreased or within the normal range. So thus we can approximate the total count from the smear. Next is the differential count. Differential count we have shown in the last practical. We have to count the 100 cell in the pre-tail area, and we have to see for any causes of neutrophilia, neutropenia, lymphocytosis, eosinophilia, monocytosis, basophilia. So if there is any abnormality present, we have to rule out the condition. And next is a morphological abnormality. We have to see the any morphological abnormality is present or not. First, toxic granules in the neutrophil seen in the any infective condition. Second is a Dole body shown with the arrow, which is present in the cytoplasm of the neutrophil. C is a shift to the left of the neutrophilic series, like in leukemoid reaction. Premature cells present. Next is a hypersegmented neutrophil seen in the megaloblastic anemia. Next is a lymphocyte, atypical lymphocyte seen in the infectious mononucleosis or any viral infection. And next is a blast in the acute leukemia. So we have to see blast for the presence of leukemia. So this is the morphological abnormality we can identify in the smear in the WBC. If we are getting any abnormality, we have to report or we have to advise further testing for the same. So we have to look for all these things. Next is a platelet. We have to show the platelet in the oil immersion field. It looks like a small purple drops, like granular, whichever granular cytoplasm. We have to see the total platelet count, whether it within the normal range or not. Ideally it should be a 1.5 to 4 lakhs. So we can roughly judge the platelet count. We have to count a 10 oil immersion field in a appropriate area for the platelet count. If the and we have to take average of all these 10 field. If we are getting an average of less than 8, we have to 1 platelet equal into 20,000. We have to count like this. If the 8 platelet are present, the count is a 1,60,000. So up to 8 is a normal. 8 to 20 platelet per oil immersion field is normal. If more than 20 platelet per oil immersion, it is a thrombocytosis, and if less than 8, it is a thrombocytopenia. So we have to judge the total count of the platelet. Next, platelet abnormality. We have to see the any clumping of the platelet, because if the clumps of the platelet are present, the count of the platelet can be wrong result. So we have to see the peripheral smear whether the clump of the platelet is present or not. Next, satellitism of the platelet. Platelets are arranged around the neutrophils, called platelet satellitism. In this case also, in the smear false result can be seen. Other are giant platelet can be seen, agranular platelet can be seen. These all have a seen in the different disorders. So we have to look for all these things. Next, presence of the any parasite. This is a malarial parasite, the ring form of the Plasmodium vivax. This is a small rings of the Plasmodium falciparum. So malaria has a 4 species: Falciparum, vivax, malariae and the oval, and all have a different stage of the development: ring shape, trophozoites, schizoid and gametocytes. So in the falciparum we can see the ring and the gametocyte in the smear. In the vivax we are seeing a ring and trophozoites and schizoid in the peripheral smear. Thus all the form have a different form we can see in the we have to see it in the thick smear, because in thick smear RBC are lysed and the parasite are released from it, so we can easily identify the parasite in the thick smear. This is a filaria which have a granular body you can see in the filaria. Other is a Leishmania donovali, LD body can also be seen, and the other trypanosomes can also be seen. So we have to see for the parasite. And after all this we have to report whether any abnormality is present or not. If normal, no, anything is not needed. But if any abnormal things we are finding, like a critical value, like a smear showing a sickle shape, blast cell, any case of the leukemoid reaction, suspected aplastic anemia, malarial parasite, absolute neutrophilic count is increased, decreased. So we have to advise, and we have to write in the conclusion for the same. If we are seeing a microcyte, we have to advise a iron study. We are seeing a megaloblastic picture, we have to advise a B12 and folic acid. We are seeing a sickle shaped cell in the RBC, we have to advise the solubility test and HPLC for the same. If we are seeing the blast cell, we have to advise the test for the leukemia. So after all, WBC, RBC, platelet, and with presence of the parasite or not, we have to conclude the peripheral smear. So this is about the peripheral smear performance and how to report it.